ESPN College Football is presented by Sling TV. We welcome you back inside Maverick Stadium here in Logan, Utah. A late field goal gave Utah State a 6-point lead at the end of the half as Jordan Love, their quarterback, projected first-round pick, started a little bit rocky, but finished the half looking like we expected.
Yeah, you mentioned it. He had a little rough start to this game. Throws an interception really on the first drive, and then later on an interception, this time returned for a touchdown. But then, Mike, Jordan Love settled in. And sometimes it takes one throw, and for him, it was the one throw earlier that went for the big touchdown to COC Mariner. And then coming back, a great play design by Mike Sanford, the offensive coordinator. Got Gerald Bright, the running back, on a linebacker, and Jordan Love starts, looking over to the sideline, letting everybody know that's just too easy.
Little bit of questionable clock management by Wyoming at the end of the half. They had the ball under 2 minutes, went to the air, and turned it over, allowing a 17-14 deficit to balloon to 20-14 with that 44-yard field goal from Dominic Eberle, whose kick is out for a touchback, and Wyoming starts here at the 25.
But still, a good first half for Jordan Love. All right, he was able to rebound. Remember, last week had the big game. You take away those 2 turnovers earlier in the game, and I think Jordan Love played a pretty okay first half.
Vanderwall to the sideline, and he hits Austin Conway, who had just 1 catch last week in that overtime loss against Boise State. That sent them to 3-2 in Mountain West play. 6-3 is their record coming into play this week.
They're going to need more from Tyler Vanderwall in this half. And it's more, to me, about him converting on the 3rd and shorts. I think running the football, it's their bread and butter, but he's going to have to convert some 3rd downs in the second half.
Xavier Valade, first down yardage as he's met right at the line, but did get enough after the tackle from Justice Tae.
It's been a physical game, too, though, in the first half, right? We've seen a couple guys go down due to injury, but hard hitting. I think this second half, I'm looking at the offensive and defensive lines of both teams. Whoever, to me, wins that line of scrimmage in the second half, I think will win this game, Mike.
Vanderwall's got to get rid of it quickly, and is passing complete, looking for the tight end Harshman. Why do you feel like the lines will be most consequential?
Well, I think because if you're Wyoming, you're right where you want to be, right? You're right where in the second half of this game, and this game is right really in your hands. If you're able to run the football, get a couple drives going, and keep what? Jordan Love and the offense of Utah State on the sideline. We've seen him score fast, but if you keep him on the sideline, that plays into your hands if you're Wyoming.
The big plays have been helpful for Utah State, not having to operate in the red zone where they've scored the lowest percentage of touchdowns of any team in the country this year. That's a burst up the middle, a first down, and a leap for more yardage by Brett Brenton, just his 2nd carry of the day, and it's a big one there for the redshirt freshman, a gain of 25.
A gain of 25, just right up the middle, right? Till you get a little bit of a leap. He jumps right over Shaq Bond, the outstanding safety for Utah State, but that's the redshirt freshman showing off on his carry, getting his opportunity.
He's showing hurdling skill in high school. He was a state champion wrestler in Casper, Wyoming, and a great football player as well. They're across midfield. The redshirt sophomore Vanderwall pursued from behind, and he gets about 9 there after he slips the tackle from Tipa Naliai, the senior defensive end who did not play last week against Fresno State, and they're glad to have him back on the field.
I love Tyler Vanderwall on that last play, and this is what I saw earlier in the first half on that scramble for a touchdown. He's going to have to make some plays in this second half, more so with his legs. We know the arm, he can throw the football, but to me, I want to see more plays with his legs to convert some of these 2nd and 3rd and shorts.
That time a solid tackle from Leffridge to make the stop, who's now their active leading tackler after they lost David Woodward for the year, their junior linebacker who's out for the season. Coming into this game, Woodward, here's how good he was still their team's leading tackler by 30.
Yeah, number 9. That's a guy who I saw all over the field. And look, it's been I think a mixed bag of reviews of who is going to respond, who's going to be the guy to step up in his place. And it's really been a group by committee.
The out route is dropped. It'll be 2nd down and 10. David Woodward, the junior from Washington, 2nd in the country in tackles per game. Best on this squad, has been out the last 2 games, out for the rest of the year. A massive playmaking loss, and they've tried to replace him, like you said, by committee. A couple of freshmen, Kaleo Nevis, AJ Vongpachan, and redshirt junior Eric Munoz, who's rotated in there as well.
Well, they still got Kevin Metzenheimer, number 33. He's been the guy in the middle calling the shots, getting guys lined up.
There was confusion along the line there. It looked like Rudy Stouffer, the left tackle, caused movement with Jacoby Wildman.
False start. Number 62 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
3rd penalty on their left tackle. Here's our College Football Awards Spotlight, brought to you by the Home Depot, featuring the Bednarik Award for Defensive Player of the Year. Remember to tune in for the Home Depot College Football Awards show December 12th, 7 Eastern on ESPN. You got some of the best defenders right there in the Mountain West.
Yeah, along with Curtis Weaver, a guy who this offensive line of Wyoming, they don't want to see him again. The outstanding DN from Boise State they saw last week.
Brenton, the running back, the intended receiver. That's a couple of times now, including the interception at the end of the half, where Vanderwall has such great strength on his passes that sometimes they look hard to handle.
You got to take a little bit off, right? You almost get too confident in your throw. There's just too much on it. You got to take a little bit off. But now 3rd and long here. To me, you don't have to get it all. You don't have to get it all. I think just maybe get about half of it. You can still have Cooper off your all-everything field goal kicker as well.
The 3-man rush, and it gets there, and it takes them out of field goal range. Tipa Naliai, the senior from outside Dallas, brings down Vanderwall for a loss of 11.
And that's the one thing that he just couldn't do in that situation. I'm saying you had 3 in your back pocket, meaning that you had an opportunity for Cooper Roth to come out and attempt a field goal, and that's just a great play on the outside. I mean, you said it, Mike.
He beat Alonzo Velasquez with a simple spin move.
Yeah, but Naliai, you mentioned coming back and from injury. Here's a guy that just showed you that athleticism for the sack.
Ryan Galovich, the punt, a fair catch at the 14-yard line. Utah State with the ball and the lead. Let's take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. LSU is in action later tonight. Ohio State cruising Clemson as expected as well. Georgia's out to an early lead. The big surprise right now, number 8 Minnesota down by a touchdown at Iowa after Minnesota jumped 9 spots this week, the biggest ever for a team going from outside to inside the top 10.
Yeah, they're in a dogfight now. They got to come back. Not show any hangover from last week's victory over Penn State.
LSU's got to look good too after they became the 4th different SEC team to claim the top spot there, along with Mississippi State, the Dak Prescott days, Georgia and Alabama. They've had the SEC, not surprisingly, has had the top team almost 75% of the rankings since the start of the college football playoff. Love directs a blocker in front. Be 3rd down and short. You got a big game tonight as well. That's on the periphery of the top 25 with Boise State, number 21, the leader in the Mountain West right now. They take on New Mexico. They are certainly heavily favored in that game.
Correct.
The last 3, they've beat them by better than 3 touchdowns on average. But they've got room to make up, essentially. because they're not the highest ranked group of 5 team in the country. You've got ahead of them Cincinnati and Memphis. So what does Boise State have in its tank basically to be able to leapfrog those 2 teams?
They got to win out. That's what it is first.
Right.
They
got to worry about your own games without thinking about what anybody else is doing.
Yes, mow your own lawn first. How about that? Just go mow your own lawn, and hopefully some things happen down the stretch. Some big games for those non-Power 5 schools down the stretch, like you mentioned.
Long ball incomplete. Logan Wilson getting a hand on it. This is the team that has the shortest time of possession in the country. 130 teams, they are last. An average of 24 minutes, 17 seconds out of a 60-minute game. You look at the midway point, you've got App State. They hold it for about 30 minutes, and best in the country, Wisconsin, almost 37 minutes a game. So you're talking about almost a quarter of time difference between Utah State last and Wisconsin first. Wanting to get it to Mariner, and there's a flag thrown with Tyler Hall in coverage.
And look, this is not the defender of me. This is offensive pass interference. This should not be defensive pass interference.
Number 9 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I don't see it.
Defensive pass interference. It has to be an obvious intent to impede by the defender. So let's see if we see that.
Like you mentioned, Mike, where's the obvious where he's not doing anything?
Are you kidding?
That's a bad call. We've seen 2 of those today. That's 2 bad calls that we've seen. They've called defensive pass interference, which is honestly the defender holding ground that he has every right to. That's a bad call by the official there. I think the Wyoming sideline, they saw what I thought I saw, which was offensive pass interference. This is a bad call by the officials.
They come back to get the first down. It was offensive. I'm offended by that. COC Mariner took Tyler Hall and threw him out of the way.
Yeah, come on, man. That's not a good call. And now Utah State's rolling on a missed call by the officials.
And a chance for it to affect the competitive outcome of this game, with Wyoming getting penalized unnecessarily there, and they're down by 6.
And remember, too, just going back to the play really quickly, you had Jordan Love, who was pressured on the play and kind of just threw the ball up, so it wasn't even a precision-type pass.
Fakes the give to Gerald Bright, a dart to the sideline. That's a nice grab by Mariner to reach back across his body and bring it in. The Utah grad transfer has proved crucial these last 2 weeks.
That's another throw to the outside by Jordan Love. He wasn't making those passes in the beginning of the year. That's some of the improvement I've seen from Jordan Love throughout this season.
His tight end Rep throws a block, and it's a 5-yard scramble for Love, the redshirt junior from Bakersfield, California. Love looks underneath for Rep. Now he looks long. Tipped and incomplete as 2 defenders converged. Tyler Hall helped knock it away, along with Rome Weber, the redshirt freshman safety.
I love Tyler Hall, the senior from Los Angeles, Hawthorne, California. He actually plays both the route on top, but also the underneath route. That's a good job by the senior.
3rd down slant to come back and get it. 1st down as he hits Savon Scarver. Just a yard past the sticks. Good route running.
And that's what's scary when Jordan Love is kind of on fire, right? You don't see him missing too many throws now. He's in sync. And it's always difficult for the defense now when he's starting to hit everyone in stride.
Shades of the player that showed himself last week, almost 400 yards against Fresno State, and last year as he threw for 3,500 yards. He throws again, looking for Rep, and throws too far. There's a flag down, 2 of them as a matter of fact, in the area of the pass.
We may get roughing the passer here, hitting the quarterback low at the end.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback, number 51 of the defense. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
This is a late hit. Solomon Byrd going down low. We saw one early in the game that was a missed hit on Tyler Vanderwall. That one's standing right in front of the official, and anytime you go low, they're going to protect the quarterback, especially Jordan Love.
What's been rare on this drive has been a handoff. Bright takes it to the 10.
But now we enter the red zone, and the offense changes for Utah State. One of the worst red zone offenses in FBS.
Another injured Cowboy. It's Javari Jackson. Had the interception earlier on a tipped pass. The junior from Wisconsin pointing to his left knee. Timeout. Utah State on the move, up by 6. 8:17 third quarter here in Logan, Utah. The Aggies are on the move. They've got the ball at the 10-yard line, which means they're into the red zone for the first time today. They've had some explosive plays today, but the red zone is where they have stumbled this year.
Maybe it's their kryptonite, right? When they get down in there, look, the field is condensed. And so a lot of the time when you're trying to go fast, it doesn't work necessarily because there's not a lot of room. The communication really for defensive guys stay on each other's side, but just getting lined up defensively is where you can have success against this Utah State offense once it gets down inside the red zone.
13th play of the drive for the Aggies on what is, relatively speaking, a long drive. More than 3 minutes for them.
And they struggle with man-to-man coverage down here in the red zone. If you're a defender, you know you can't get beat deep, so you can get up in front of in the grill of these wide receivers.
Too tall. Wanted Mariner, the senior from Tustin, California. So Love will tee it up again here on 3rd down. They can still pick up a first down. They need 8 for the first down, which would put them inside the 2.
So now they need a man beater, right? Because they're going to hit man-to-man coverage on the outside from Wyoming. So you got to find which is your best option to throw to. They're going to bunch it up top. Force the communication by Wyoming, the defenders. 3 receivers into the boundary up top, Mike.
Tompkins, Nathan, and Rep all to the left. Love looks that way. Scrambles that way. First down, ball comes loose. And the Aggies are first on the scene. Almost a turnover, which is how Love started the day with 2 of them. Where's the spot is the question.
Where is the spot? Like you mentioned, Mike, that ball is out. That is a fumble. Jordan Love, honestly, I thought could have got out of bounds and still kept the first down, but he lowers the shoulder. And I think he comes up just a little bit short.
Alfred Edwards, the left tackle, got there, but they mark it short of the marker. 4th down and inches.
There's Keon Blankenbaker on the hit.
From the shotgun with Jalen Warren, his running back. He gives it to Warren. He's pushed back, and they're going to need a generous mark here to keep this drive alive.
Eerily similar to what we saw last week at Fresno State. 4th and 1 situation. Utah State decided to go for it. Fresno held them. And let's see if Wyoming does the same here.
They get the stop.
I mean, they give it to the 5'8", 215-pound Jalen Warren, and that's just building a wall, creating a pile. Good job by Wyoming defensively. You just start getting guys who are winning the line of scrimmage. Your guy, Solomon Byrd, right there. He denies Jalen Warren. An outstanding job by that front of Wyoming. I said it's going to be one in the trenches that time, that defensive line for Wyoming. Another stop in the red zone against Utah State.
Another failure to convert if you look at it another way.
Yep.
From an Aggie perspective. 125th overall out of 130 teams in terms of scoring in that area, but last when it comes to getting touchdowns.
What did we see there? They struggled with man-to-man coverage inside the red zone. And then at the last second on the third down scramble by Jordan Love, they went away from the man and went zone, which confused Love. That scrambled and forced that fourth down.
Backed up near the goal line, Vanderwall goes under center and hands it off. There's a flag coming in. And you got to imagine there are people watching who are saying, you have 4th and inches.
Right.
There's got to be a play to go under center. Sneak the ball. Don't back yourself up 5 yards.
Well, that's going to be something that they talk about in the offseason with Jordan Love. He's going to have to be able to take some snaps from under center in the NFL. This is not a shotgun league in the NFL, which is something that they don't do here at Utah State.
Personal foul, chop block, number 73 and 62 on the offense. That penalty would be declined. 3rd down.
And it's so often you'll hear coaches say, well, that's not in our DNA to do that. But if it makes sense,
right,
why not? A moot point now, as it was a turnover on downs, and Utah State maintains its 6-point advantage with fewer than 7 minutes left here in the 3rd.
I'm looking for the tight end here if I'm Wyoming.
Blitz up the middle. Valladay marked at the 2 where his forward progress was. That could have been a lot worse.
Well, Brent Vegan, you've had better calls, but calling a screen pass down here in the shadows of your own end zone with one of the most heady, instinctive linebackers in the Mountain West, and Kevin Metzenheimer, that's not a good call. That is, I think you either run a draw play or you look for the tight end, but that play just did not look good from the beginning.
Coverage gets tighter. Galovich gets it away. The low kick out of the end zone. Taken by Jordan Nathan, the wide receiver. He goes lateral at the 40. And out around the 31-yard line. Flag is in at the end of the play. There's some late hits that overflow into the Wyoming sideline after that 14-yard return.
I didn't see much late.
But I did see a crowd gather.
I did see a crowd, yeah,
on the Wyoming sideline.
But that was a late throw from that official on that sideline. I think the officials are conferring there. I don't know if I saw a late hit. I think just the play was made on that sideline. Very close, but I don't know if I saw a hit out of bounds.
Personal foul. Late hit. Number 5 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty would be added to the end of the run. 1st down.
At first glance, watching the hit, I didn't think that it was too late.
Penalty would be enforced half the distance
to the goal. I don't know if he even touched him, really. I think he's just trying to get to the outside. I don't know if that's enough for me to. Is that 15 yards worth?
There should be some level of leniency and interpretation for flow of the game and the way things are working, where you could see that. Yeah. He wasn't really trying to crash that play.
I just didn't see the intent on that one. I just see a guy hustling, trying to make a play.
Deja vu. Back to the 10-yard line here for Utah State. And an immediate opportunity for Mike Sanford, the offensive coordinator, to make up for a missed opportunity last trip here. And quickly, it's 3rd down.
So again, we saw on the last red zone opportunity, they went man-to-man coverage on 3rd down and then basically went away from it. They went to zone late, which confused Jordan Love. Now, what does Wyoming do defensively? Do they stay in the man coverage? To me, watch Jordan Love here again, taking off, using his legs, but this time maybe up the middle.
4-man rush. Throw to the end zone, nearly a one-handed catch, but instead incomplete, as Mariner has been his top option when they get here to the goal line.
Again, man-to-man coverage on the outside, so he's got one-on-one That's just an outstanding job by Wyoming, playing great defense. Tyler Hall on the outside in great position. That had to be a heck of a throw by Jordan Love, but Hall with the great coverage.
Eberle, the highest scoring player in school history, has hit from 47, 44, and now from 26. He does it again. 23-14, Utah State. It's number 10 Oklahoma and perfect 13th ranked Baylor trying to get to 10-0 for the first time. They've rattled off 11 wins in a row. They played host to game day today. Their streak is the third longest behind Clemson. Came in today with 25 straight wins. Ohio State with 15. As you start to look ahead to the Big 12 championship game, December 7th is not that far away inside Cowboys Stadium. Mike Cousins, Kirk Morrison here with you in Logan, Utah, where Utah State has just extended their lead with a field goal. And the playoff picture certainly has changed quite a bit already today.
Yeah, it's looked different so far for me.
Where's Alabama?
Alabama not there, especially with Tua being down. I don't see them in my top six. But these are my predictions for Tuesday. I think LSU is the best team in college football, followed by Ohio State. Clemson just doing what they do. But I love Oregon. I think if Oregon wins out, you have to put them there. Georgia winning right now. They're up 21-zip over Auburn. And if Oklahoma wins tonight against Baylor, they win the Big 12 championship, they're putting themselves right in a position to be in the college football playoff for another year.
Georgia Bulldogs came into action today, a 24% chance to make the playoff, according to the playoff predictor. Sixth best of any school, like you said, up 21-zip. 15-yard pickup to start the drive. This is a crucial one here for Wyoming, as they were able to limit Utah State in its only 2 trips to the red zone coming earlier in this quarter. A turnover on downs, stopped them, held them to a field goal last time, but they've got to answer here and get something going. After they turned it over at the end of the first half, it could have been a much closer game, and this is how they win games, giving it to number 6, Xavier Valadin.
Well, you get good blocking on the left side, right? You get the tight end and the tackle getting up to the second level. And there hasn't been the big play from Xavier Valadin yet. It's just getting, chunks of yards, 5 here, 4 here. But they're waiting for him to bust off the big run to get this offense set up in the red zone.
Brenton at the top of the eye here on second down and short. Troy Leffridge says no way. He wraps around the formation and bottles up the freshman running back.
I mean, Leffridge, we can't say enough about him. We've seen number 3 all over the field. And it's been his blitzing off the edge, right? He blitzed earlier in the game, forced a fumble from Tyler Vanderwall, that time blitzing, but this time in the run game, he's been a big factor for Utah State defensively.
Vanderwall takes off and he stops short again. Ball came loose as he went out of bounds as he's tackled by Eric Munoz. You need a linebacker to replace David Woodward, their best tackler. Munoz is the guy. It's 4th down.
This play was made, Mike. This is an outstanding play by Kevin Metzenheimer. Outstanding play. The option in which Tyler Vanderwall was trying to go to with Xavier Valadin, Metzenheimer took him away, which forced Vanderwall to have to scramble, and in the rally to get Vanderwall out of bounds.
Ball sits inside the 18-yard line. 2:20 third quarter.
On the last third down play for Utah State defensively, Kevin Metzenheimer, number 33, the linebacker, he's the one that makes the play. Here he is having to call the shots, get everybody lined up, but he takes Xavier Valadin on the outside. That's where Vanderwall wanted to go first. Metzenheimer takes him away, covers him up, and we saw the defense rally, push Vanderwall out of bounds, forcing the punt. But the great job by Kevin Metzenheimer. We said it before, with Woodward out, he's had a guy that had to come in and make the plays, but really it's been Metzenheimer still leading the group.
And here's an interesting change. Henry Colombi, the sophomore from Florida, is in for Utah State to spell Jordan Love, he takes off, slides, and he's right near the first down marker. He's only thrown 12 passes this year. First team All-State player and the 4A player of the year as a junior in the state of Florida. He comes in here late third quarter with his team up 23-14.
I remember talking to Mike Sanford about Columbia. Played a lot in that game versus LSU. And a lot of it was the quarterback run. They have a lot of different plays, but more run plays for Columbia in that quarterback. We've seen option, we've seen him do some sprints, some double throws. But Columbia, a much different player and a different skill set at the quarterback position than Jordan Love.
The give is to Bright on first down. He moves the chains with that carry. The senior, a nice run for 11.
So with Columbia in the game, if I'm Wyoming, I'm bringing everybody up. I don't even want to put a safety deep because all I've seen is run, run, run. Force him to have to throw.
Just back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
That's been 4 plays and 4 consecutive runs, right? We have not seen Columbia throw the ball. So if I'm Wyoming, I'm almost selling out to keep an extra player in for the run.
Nice spiral over the middle, and it's caught at the 40 from 140 to the other. Taylor Compton makes the grab, and it's into Wyoming territory. 19 yards there.
They're still going fast. Nice throw by Columbia, allowing Compton to get open, find him right in the middle of the field over the linebackers.
Wright gets a couple.
I think that may be the last play of the quarter. We'll get an update on Jordan Love in a little bit, but right now Columbia in the game. A little different look for Utah State offensively.
So Jordan Love sitting on the bench. Didn't see him get any medical attention over there. So it's an interesting move to not see him on the field in a close game. We go to the 4th with Love sitting.